participants. My name is Melvin Bonardo, and I'm the assistant to head of undergraduate program in marketing communication studies in LSPR. It's a pleasure for me to be the moderator for today LSPR Omni sessions. First of all, I would like to say welcome to our honorable guest speaker for today, Prof. Marco Polo, and today all the Londoners who are participating in these webinar sessions with the topic digital marketing communications. Also, I would like to say good afternoon to all the lecturers from the digital marketing communications. Before we start our sessions for today, I would like to kindly request for our participants to turn on your camera and also mute your microphone throughout the discussions period. You could put your questions in the chat box and we will discuss in the section in the Q&A sessions after the presentations of honorable speakers. Okay. Even knowledge, now I want to sharing about the LSPR Omni is a LSPR initiative to balance the students' online and offline academic learning in addressing the new normal environment. LSPR Omni is similar to LSPR Lecturer Exchange Program. However, due to the travel restrictions, we want to continue the implementations by making these available online. This is a great opportunity for LSPR students to broaden their knowledge and gain an international perspective of communications where LSPR Omni enables LSPR students in taking learning beyond borders. And now, please allow me to give a short background about our valuable speakers for today. Mr. Marco Polo is an associate professor at the Communications and Journalism Department and Director for University Advancement at the LaSalle University Das Marinas. He is a former two-term national president of the Philippine Associations of Communications Educators. He is also a member of the Board of Management of the Asians Media Information Research and Communication Center. Now, without further ado, I would like to invite Prof. Marco Polo to start our sessions. The screen is now yours, Prof. Marco Polo.
Terima kasih, Melvin, and thank you very much for that introduction. I'd like to say mabuhay, or live well, or long live to all. A pleasant afternoon to everyone. I know that you are all looking forward to the engagement with the different Omni lecturers. I am pleased and honored to be here with you this afternoon. Let me practice a little bit of bahasa. Soreang menyayangkan tapi panas dan lembab untuk kalian semua. Very hot. Ya, musim panas masih di sini dan kita sedang berhadapan dengan gelombang panas yang diserbarkan oleh krisis iklim. So we're in a climate emergency, you know. Saya harap Anda semua baik-baik. Saya ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada LSPR karena sekali lagi memiliki saya sebagai salah satu dosen Omni mereka. So I'm pleased again to join you as a lecturer here. Itu selalu menyangkut untuk berbicara dan berinteraksi dengan siswa dari sekolah Anda. Saya berharap meskipun lain kali kita benar-benar bisa bersama sama secara pribadi. I hope I can join you or we can see each other in person. Beritahu saya pindah ke presentasi. Saya din berili ke bahasa Inggris. Maafkan bahasaku. So let me share my screen for my presentation, and that I look forward to having an interaction with the students here. And I hope that this afternoon is going to be well spent for all of us as we try to understand and cover the topic that is assigned to me. So let me just quickly shift to my slides. Okay. Can you already see the PowerPoint? Can I see a thumbs up?
Yes, Mr. Polo.
Okay, terima kasih. So the presentation topic assigned to me is digital marketing, communication trends, 2022 and actually even beyond. No, so not just for this year. You can see that I have my email here in case you'd like to get in touch with me or you have any questions after the presentation. And that if we don't have enough time to cover that, my social media handles are always at cramolop. I'd like to thank again LSPR for this opportunity to be one of your Omni lecturers. And as mentioned, these are my affiliations. I will be giving a copy of my presentation to the Secretariat. So in case you need to have a copy of my talk today, you can request it from them. And you can take down some notes and also some screenshots. So that's perfectly fine for as long as the contents are properly attributed. Now, when we talk about understanding trends and forecasts for digital marketing, there are many references and resources. But for this afternoon, my main objectives for you are as follows. First is for you to understand the current global digital marketing landscape. Second is to know, I'm going to be sharing 10, I call it the marketing trends that will share the way brands market their products and services. So that will affect. Then learn how to leverage on these marketing trends, particularly in the context of Indonesia. My presentation is very simple. I just have I'd like to have a short introduction activity with all the participants here. I hope that you're ready to use the chat box. There are 65 attendees. Then I will go to sharing the 10 marketing trends, and then we'll go to the open forum. Okay, so is everyone ready? Can I see a thumbs up? Okay. You can use your emoticons or your real thumbs. So I'd like to ask everyone here, okay, you can type your answer in the chat box. And maybe Melvin can help me read some of the answers. If I were a brand, I would be, okay, what brand will you be? You don't need to explain. You don't need to elaborate. You just type your answer. But if you were a brand, what kind of brand will you be?
Yes, please chat your
So you can type it in the
answer.
chat box and type your
Yes.
answer. Let's see what the students come up with.
Yes. Like the global brand, maybe,
It can be
guys,
a
or
global
maybe
brand, a local brand,
the local brand is no
any
problem.
brand. So, we're
Beauty
waiting
brand.
for anyone to type their answers in the chat box.
Yeah. First of all, the Meviola Graciela. She said like beauty brand. Okay, the strong brand, Laura. From Laura, strong brand.
Powerful. Well, you can give the name of an actual brand, okay?
Yes.
Yes, you can give a name of a brand. Kate Spade.
Wow.
Okay, for Nobrita. For Juan David Sports.
Nike from Fatima Silmia. Lalu Aurelia said Hype.
Is that a local brand, Hype?
Yes,
Okay.
Prof. Okay,
Come on,
the
keep your
other.
answers coming.
Yes.
Type it your answers there.
Don't be shy if you want to answer like I am geprek, gembus, or anything, ya guys.
Okay.
Fans. Okay, Samelia Luigi Sentosa said like fans. Oh,
Chat time. Oh, we have that here also. Chat time. Milk
oh
tea.
really, Prof?
This
Chat
is milk tea, right?
in the
Chat time is
Philippines?
milk tea. It's milk tea, right?
Yes.
Very popular here. Okay,
Aqua.
Yes, boba milk tea.
Yes, boba milk tea. Okay.
For those who haven't answered yet, please type your responses.
Yes, the other students, maybe Devasha, Maria, Diva, Rachel, Shafira.
What is, I want to ask, Melvin, what is Hybe? What is it?
Hype like uh, uh like a t-shirt, some like
So it's a clothing apparel.
yes, clothing apparel.
Okay, it's a clothing line. Okay.
and they have the shoes.
Okay. So it's really an Indonesian brand.
Yes.
Okay, it's a homegrown brand. How about the others? No one else is answering? We're waiting for others to type their answers.
But maybe the meaning of the hype from the student is like a Korean brand, Mr. Prof.
Oh,
Polo, the Korean brand, like uh, the BTS from.
okay.
Yes, like a big hit entertainment, maybe that the hype.
Yes. Okay, okay. Well, we'll come back to that. But what is important in this first part is that I want to ask you that we all uh, have a relationship with brands. You know, we live with it, we sleep with it, we eat with it. Oh, okay, somebody answered Lego. Oh, Melvin answered Lego. Uh, Brands are present in everything that we do. It's something that surrounds us. And these brands are able to influence our lifestyle, our culture, our behavior, our attitudes in different ways. And the reason why some brands have developed a very strong affinity or relationship with us is because we've had very good experiences with these brands. And that's why we have become loyal and we love to purchase and interact with these different brands that you've just mentioned here. Now, when we talk about what's going to happen or what are the latest happenings with respect to how brands are being marketed. And as you know, the title of the presentation is Digital Marketing. The direction is really there. In fact, just to let you know, earlier this week, I was interviewing the supervisors of my students who were doing their internship. So many of my students are almost finished with their internship. Many of them are actually working or did their internship with either an agency or a client, and a big portion of what they did as an intern was about digital marketing or digital communication. So in effect, it's really the dominant set of activities, no, of brands and companies nowadays. It is very important for us to have an understanding of what's going on and what the directions will be so that we are prepared and we are ready to take on the different challenges, the different possibilities and opportunities afforded by what's happening in our environment. So let's get into the trends immediately. Okay. So where did these trends come from? Did I open my crystal ball or did I, try to ask around? A combination of resources were consulted. I consulted first industry publications and industry research agencies that normally release forecasts about digital marketing and other disciplines. But another important the thing that I did was I talked to a lot of people, especially marketers themselves, those who are into doing digital marketing, both here and some friends elsewhere. And many of the things that they shared with me, I put it together into this presentation that you will be going over with me together this afternoon. So let's go into this digital marketing trends. As I said, there are 10 digital marketing trends that I will be discussing with you this afternoon. So you have the 10 here, and we'll go to each and every one of them. So allow me now first to go to the first digital marketing trend. The first trend is that, by the way, I might call some of you. So Melvin, if you can assist me, I might call some of the students if they can also read the slide or read what is on the slide, no? So that we have some participation.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So the first trend is digital is yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Yes, even though digital is only a phenomenon that happened in the last century, it is here to stay. It is influenced by the past. It is built upon a lot of other technologies, a lot of innovations. But because of the rapid development of digital technologies, it is making many organizations rethink their business models and their business processes. Okay? Because of these developments, many companies are trying to utilize different technologies in order to become better at the things that they do. And this is something that will constantly happen. So it is something that we must realize and understand, that the pace in which digital technologies are evolving is really happening very, very fast. But it doesn't mean that we should try to ride the wave all the time. What is important is that we select the most appropriate technologies to use in the digital marketing landscape. The second point I'd like to make here is that it's the digitalization of marketing activities. It will drive many evolutions and revolutions of many brands, industries, and societies. What do we mean by this? It is the conversion of information and data and experiences from analog to digital. Let's take, for example, music. In the earlier times, probably before many of you were born, no? Music was produced, of course, in many ways. By people, by musical instruments, by the environment. And the way it is captured has been preserved in different formats. Nowadays, a lot of content, a lot of music is actually produced in digital form. Its advantages and disadvantages, it's a double-edged scenario. It is easy to replicate. It is easy to copy. It is easy to share. But it is also a way in which it is easy for it to be disseminated to as many people as possible. The third point I'd like to make here is that we need to build a comprehensive digital strategy. If you will become part of a company or organization, you need to have, or you need to incorporate in your strategy the role of digital technologies. It is critical to embed, for example, digital literacy across the whole organization. What do we mean by digital literacy? Here we mean that it is the ability for us to be able to be conscious, critical, and responsible users, creators of digital content. It is important that in our time and age, we must contribute to the positive use of technology. Because technology can be used and abused in different ways. If you look at this chart on screen, you will see here how digital marketing has evolved for the past 4 decades, as recent as the 1990s. Although I know many of you are not yet born. Probably most of you were born after the year 2000. But for people like me who lived already through the 90s, I can tell you that we experienced many of the technologies here. Like at the early times, of course, the internet, it arrived in the Philippines in 1995. When did the internet arrive in Indonesia? Can anyone tell me? When was the internet introduced in Indonesia?
Maybe
Anyone? Or even the professors can answer?
maybe 90s, yeah, Miss Nofrita?
90s? Okay, because in the Philippines, it started in 1995. In fact, I still have a Yahoo email. That is my oldest email. I've had it since 1995. Okay, but you'll see here that after that, there's the emergence of email marketing. So because email was the most common form of exchange using the internet at that time. So thank you, Prof. Novrita also gave her answer here. So even today, email marketing is still very much a staple, although there are other ways in which products, information, services are marketed. Then in 1997, you had mobile payments. Imagine, mobile payments were already available at that time, although it's only very popular in the past few years now, especially during the pandemic. But even as early as 1997, there were already digital payment platforms. You have SEOs, or search engine optimization. Then you have the emergence of PPC, is pay per click. So you pay people, advertisers will pay whenever somebody clicks on an ad or somebody clicks on a page. So until today, we have online and digital advertising. Um, then you have LinkedIn, WordPress, also the rise of blogging sites. And then down the line, you see the other technologies as they're evolving. So the question is, we are now in 2022. What's going to come next? What's going to happen with the digital marketing space? So I will have some discussions on this in the next slides. Now, the second point I'd like to make is the metaverse marketing mix. Are you familiar with the metaverse? Probably if you're a fan of Facebook, you use Facebook, or if you are a fan of the cinematic universe of Marvel, that's not the metaverse I am referring to. But when I talk about the metaverse, it simply means a fully immersive internet experience. Okay? An experience wherein, let me just turn around for a bit, because I have it somewhere here, wherein we experience the internet using technologies that will bring us to another dimension. Okay? It will bring us to another world or other worlds. The metaverse refers to the virtual world. It could refer to augmented reality. It could mean gaming. It could mean avatars. It could mean virtual reality, like this VR headset that I have, which I use actually for my class or sometimes for entertainment purposes. And as I said here, an immersive experience. Of course, the metaverse became very popular because of the gaming industry. But more and more, many companies are realizing that there are various applications of having these different technologies in the marketing mix. This is where you will see now many brands developing products, services, and experiences to influence how we work, how we play, how we socialize. So then again, this will offer companies a different way of reaching their customers and clients. For the digital marketers, this could be you. You must convince brands about the benefits of being an early adopter of these technologies. There are companies that are very quick to adapt to change, that are very quick to adapt technological advances, but there are those who are on a wait and see. Okay? So what are the different characteristics of these metaverses? First, it is always active. Second, it exists in real time. Third, if you're a gamer, players have individual agency or individual space, individual environments. Fourth, it is self-contained and a fully functioning universe, meaning it is an ecosystem in itself. And then it mixes different platforms. And a lot of the content is user-generated. Now, as a marketer, what are some of the tips in which marketers can take advantage of the metaverse as a marketing strategy? First is that as a marketer, you can insert yourself or the brand natively within the platform. An old example of this is, remember, whenever you watch a movie, then suddenly some of the characters will suddenly open a bag of chips, open a bottle of soft drinks, use a particular brand of soap, wear a particular type of eyeglass with the brand of a company prominently displayed. So you have those in movie advertising, which was a very popular strategy of placing certain brands in a popular platform like a movie. Now, in the metaverse, companies are also finding ways to sell, to promote spaces in this metaverse in order to promote their names and their brands. For example, do you have Waze there in Indonesia, Melvin? Do you have Waze or Google Maps?
We
What
always
do you use? What do you
uh,
use if you want to go from Jakarta to another place outside Jakarta and you
we
want
use
to use the GPS?
maybe we use the Waze, the
Okay, so
application
we have the
Waze.
same Waze.
Yes.
Notice that when you use Waze, sometimes there are also brands that are advertising on Waze now. If you're navigating the road, no, along Jakarta, going, what's the nearest city next to Jakarta?
Bogor.
Bogor, okay. So you're driving, and then there is a gasoline station on the right, and then it will pop up on your Waze. Would you like to gas up? And you say no, okay, you just drive ahead, and then suddenly you'll find a KFC. There's a sign of a KFC there. Those are not accidental brands that are just appearing in Waze. Those are actually advertisements that are paid for users of Waze, so that they can get to see different brands and experience them while they're driving from point A to point B. Second point is parallel real-life marketing in the virtual environment. So you have people use endorsers and avatars, both real and also artificial intelligence. These are either people, characters, robots, and other forms of beings, if I may say, to try to market products and services in different ways. The third is retail virtual goods to digital avatars. So companies can also come up with ways of rewarding and awarding their customers, their clients, by giving them tokens, by giving them gift certificates, by giving them incentives for accessing the different platforms. The fourth strategy is to establish your own virtual venue. And this is happening now to many companies. They're creating their own immersive virtual spaces. Even universities and schools, we are creating our virtual platforms so that people who cannot come to our campus can visit it virtually and have an immersive experience, which is the fifth point, meaning create immersive experiences. Yesterday, I was in a workshop meeting. One of my students asked our speaker, how can museums, for example, adapt to the digital space when many people cannot go to museums because of the pandemic? So the resource speaker said that, of course, many museums now can develop virtual tours, which is actually happening. Even if I'm not able to leave my house, I can visit the Louvre. I can visit the Museum of Modern Art. I can visit any of the world's museums, because many of them right now have developed their digital platforms to allow people to have an experience of seeing their museums, even if they're not physically there. And then sixth is offer digital collectibles. This is related to NFTs. This is connected to another part of my presentation here. But this is something now that is gaining a lot of popularity. Many people are very much interested, not just in physically collecting artifacts, but also in collecting some digital items that are only available either as a limited edition, as a rare thing, or really something that is only one out of a million. So that is the metaverse as a marketing strategy. I do have some other additional examples here of how this is happening right now. Companies that have taken advantage of the affordances of technology. You have Facebook Meta. You know that they've integrated their different social media applications. So you have here Facebook, Messenger, you have Instagram, WhatsApp, and Oculus, which is now part of the Meta group. But Oculus really developed and enhanced the virtual reality experience. Google is also trying to catch up. They have their Google Glass. It encountered some legal issues, but they're trying to relaunch. They're trying to, reinvent this technology that allows you to use a pair of glasses, like this one, although this is not a Google Glass. But as a Google Glass, imagine this is Google Glass, and you can take a photo by just nodding your head or giving a voice command. Okay, Google Glass, can you tell me who is on the screen? Okay, Google Glass, can you bring me to this website? So that is a technology that's available with the use of such simple contraption. A brand that is iconic, If you watched Top Gun, did anyone watch Top Gun? Hands up or thumbs up. Did anyone watch Top Gun in Indonesia? Very popular movie. Of course, Tom Cruise popularized a certain kind of a Ray-Ban. But Ray-Ban also now has a pair of glasses that can take photographs and can access the internet. It's called Ray-Ban Stories. Very interesting. Yeah. And then the last one I have here is there is rumor, or rumor has it, Apple purchased Next VR. So there is a possibility that Apple might be developing a wearable. They already have their watch, right? The smartwatch, but there's a rumor that they're developing something like a pair of glasses also with the Apple technology because they already purchased Next VR. So that's something that many are looking forward to. Now, the third point here is accessibility for all. Okay? When we talk about accessibility, it is the ability to access and benefit the various spaces, products, and services. And the concept here is that we need to understand that not all people have the same abilities. Did you know that according to the United Nations, there are about 2 billion people that have one form of disability? Others call it disability. We also call it different ability or differently able. Brands must understand that these 2 billion people, many of them also have the capacity, the resources to buy goods and services. So they are a market, but they are a very neglected market. So companies must develop technologies, assistive technologies, tools that will allow differently abled people to experience their products. I have some very interesting examples later to discuss with you. I'd like to ask you, you can type it in the chat box, okay? What assistive technologies or brands do you know? Are there any brands there in Indonesia that are providing assistive and accessible support for people with disabilities? I'm curious to know if there are any. So if you have an answer to this, you can type it in the chat box and we'll try to read your response. When we talk about accessibility, the first thing that should come into our minds is that we must develop design products that are universally usable by many, that can be used by anyone. So when you design something, if you're a designer, you're designing an object, a product, a service, you have to make sure that you're designing not just for the able people, but also for the differently abled people. You have to make sure that the designs you're making will be accessible to people regardless of their age, their disability, or other factors. A technique to help people design such products is called design thinking. Okay? Design thinking, or another term that is used, is human-centered design. This involves the discovery, the understanding, and the creation of products and prototypes and implementing them with the end in view that you are developing something for a user, for an end user. The key here is to look at it from their point of view. Just imagine you're a blind person. You could not see anything. How can you navigate the world? What kinds of products and services will be most useful, beneficial for you? Just imagine that for a second. Or imagine you cannot walk. No? You have to use a wheelchair or other device to be able to move around. Imagine your world is like that. Imagine the many opportunities for a company to develop something for these kinds of people. Remember, there's 2 billion of them. Let me share with you some interesting brands that have developed interesting products and services for people with different abilities. The first one is makeup. Okay? So this makeup brands no, the one that you see here as an example, they have developed makeup for people with certain conditions. For example, neurological. You know, there are people that with Parkinson's disease or with those are whose hands are constantly shaking. You know, some of these makeup companies like Kohl and Scholl, they have developed products that will allow a person whose hands are shaking to still be able to use makeup. Very interesting products that are adept or are useful for people with certain physical conditions or difficulties. There are companies that are also developing makeups for people with different mental conditions. I didn't put it here, but I know that there's a brand in the Philippines that they develop a makeup line for people with Down syndrome. No? They want to develop this so that they want the people with Down syndrome to also feel good and look beautiful. An example also would be Google Maps. Google is also present in Indonesia, right? So Google Maps has incorporated accessibility features. What do we mean by that? If you're using a Google Map, you can turn on certain functions there. It can tell you whether you're going to a place, is it accessible by wheelchair? Is it accessible by a person who's blind? Is it accessible by a parent who is bringing his child on a stroller? Are there walkways? Are there platforms? Are there ramps? Google Maps has incorporated accessibility features in its application. Another example, a favorite of mine is Microsoft. My institution is a Microsoft showcase school. So we have assistive technologies in our Microsoft applications. The most popular ones will be the Microsoft Reader, wherein somebody who is visually impaired can program Microsoft, please read the text. So it will read the lesson to the student. Or there's also immersive reader, wherein a person with dyslexia and with other learning disabilities can customize the screen so that he or she can understand what is there. At the height of the pandemic, Airbnb, is there an Airbnb in Indonesia? You know, many people could not travel, right? So what Airbnb did is that they shared the experience of traveling virtually. They asked the people who own a property in Airbnb and those who had the opportunity to travel to share their experiences. So that people who could not travel yet will have an idea of what it is like to go to a particular country and to live in a particular house. So they asked the members of their community to come up with these videos, with these testimonials and experiences. The last one is a personal favorite of mine because I've seen it how it's being used by some visually impaired people. And it is Braille bricks. Lego developed Lego bricks for the blind. So you know Braille, no? That's the standard language for visually impaired people. So they place dots on the Lego bricks so that the person who's blind or visually impaired using it can identify the block, the color, where the different slots are, and then he or she can design something using Lego bricks. Isn't that nice? Isn't that something very very heartwarming to know that a brand like Lego is thinking about developing toys not just for those who can see, who can touch, and you can experience Lego as it is. So they developed Lego bricks in Braille edition. Next is the rise of social commerce. Okay, social commerce is basically the sale of goods and services using social media platforms, using social media applications. This is now a very popular way of doing shopping. You know, many companies have set up shop in Facebook. Facebook has a marketplace. Facebook, Instagram, there are those who are selling their makeup, their travels. I have a friend who's selling hotel rooms, no, via Instagram. She's offering accommodations in different hotels in Manila through her Instagram page. So the rise of social commerce is going to be bigger. No? It is now a multi-billion-dollar market because many companies now have started and have realized that because many people were staying at home, especially during the pandemic, they could not go to the mall because it's closed. So the next best thing is to do shopping online. and they created a lot of immersive experiences here. If we want to leverage on this, we must understand how social commerce works. I'd like to ask the students again, I hope you will participate this time. What was the last item you bought online? Can you type it in the chat box? What was the last item you bought online? I will type my answer. Food. Okay. My answer is a traveling bag cover because tomorrow I'm traveling. I'm going to Cambodia. So I have a flight in the evening. So I bought a traveling bag cover. That was the last thing I bought. City bought skincare. It's a headphone. Oh yeah, I need headphones also. One of my headphones is really needs to be replaced. Viviola bought clothes. Okay. So you can practically, you can practically buy almost anything online. You can buy property. You can buy a car. You can buy experiences, you know, just by going to a page or a site. So there are 5 things to remember if you want to engage in social commerce. Have very good content. Make sure that you listen to the customer's voice, what they're saying, what their concerns are, what they want to buy, how they want to engage or interact with your brand. Make sure it is very convenient to purchase, to buy, to deliver, to exchange goods and services. I bought a watch 2 weeks ago and it was broken. You know, something happened in the delivery. I messaged the company where I bought it. In 2 days' time, the replacement arrived at home. No questions asked. I just showed them a picture of the watch that was broken. They replaced it. They didn't ask me to return it. That's very good customer service. Conversation. Continue to have open discussion with your brands, with your clients, with your customers. And of course, understand the dynamics of commerce. So the 5 C's of social commerce. Take note of that. On a personal example, in my university, we have been doing live selling. One of our partner brands, it's called Universidad. They produce merchandise that contains the brand of the school, LaSalle. Of course, during the pandemic, many of their stores, most of their stores were closed. So we understand they were not selling anything that much. They were selling some in Facebook and Shopee, but we said, okay, we can bring you to our community. We can organize a live selling. So we had one of our television studio converted into something that you have here below, when they have people selling their products. And you know, we have been doing this for 5 times already. They have made a lot of money, close to 10,000 US dollars already. But the good thing also is that every item that is bought, they also make a donation to our scholarship program. So that's why we're very happy with our partnership with Universidad. In a way, we're helping them, but they're also helping us. So connect, listen to the customer. There's a demand for certain kinds of clothing, so that's what they did. They want to make it the payment easy, so we provided different digital payments. We make sure that there's somebody responding to the questions when we're doing the live selling. I don't know if live selling is popular there in Indonesia, but here it is very, very popular. I have friends who are doing live selling. Some of them have thousands of people watching their shows. I know someone who does live selling, and in a day she can sell easily $5,000 worth of clothing. So there are many possibilities and options here. Next is knowledge management is key. Okay. What is knowledge management? May I request Angelina? Angelina, so now's the time to ask some of Angelina, can you read the definition of knowledge management that I have here? Angelina Agata?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. So knowledge management is the process of capturing, distributing, and effectively using knowledge.
Okay. So this is a classic definition from Davenport way back in the 1990s. But knowledge is power. It becomes power when knowledge is applied, when we are able to use it to something beneficial. And when in fact, marketing is all about knowledge because you need to have knowledge about your customer, about the environment. You have to have knowledge about the sector that you're working for. You have to have knowledge of what is going on within, outside the market of your organization or of your company or brand. When we talk about knowledge management, it can also refer to the use of artificial intelligence capabilities. It can help increase productivity. It can help a company use its resources better. It can help you improve on your customer experience and improve the productivity of your employees. And there are companies that are increasingly using knowledge management in one way or another. You have your MuleSoft, which is a software company. You have Etsy and Tibco, which are also different kinds of retail companies. And then Ogilvy is actually an advertising and PR agency. They're using knowledge management to better deal with the many clients that they're serving. And also because they have operations in many countries around the world, they're using knowledge management in order to better understand the information, the data that is produced by their different clients and services. Melvin, how many minutes more do I have? Can you check?
Yes, you have maybe 20 minutes, and after
20
that
minutes. Okay, good.
yeah, until 20. That
Okay,
after that
okay,
we have
good.
the Q&A session.
Okay, good enough. The next one is the end of third-party cookies. It's not your fortune cookie. No, I have cookies here. No, not the cookie, this one that you know of, but third-party cookies. What do you mean by third-party cookies? No, Google, for one, is phasing out third-party cookies next year. Okay, it's very important because cookies are small pieces of information that is sent from your computer to the website that you're visiting. Whenever you visit a website, it captures part of your information, what you're doing. It can be done by the website itself. Others use another application to do that. That's why it's called a third party. Because of privacy issues, because of the controversy surrounding the use of personal information, Google has agreed to remove third-party cookies. It doesn't mean that your information is no longer being accessible by others. It is still. Whenever you access any web page, it's still collecting information about you. What you're doing, what you're watching, what you're clicking and not clicking, how long are you staying in a particular page. We still have what is called a digital footprint. We also have what is called a digital shadow. That's something you can look up. You can Google it, what a digital shadow is. But the point here is that this digital cookies is really going to help brands reconfigure how they obtain information from their customers and clients. DMs, not Doc Martens, but digital marketers, must help brands regain the ownership of their customers and audiences. Okay, it is important. Next, digital marketers must also have a clear plan for the placement of advertisements and the measurements that are entailed with that after the end of third-party cookies. You know, in the earlier slide, I showed you the first party, right? First-party cookie. First-party data is information a company collects directly from its customers. Okay? While zero-party or is data given directly by the consumer or customer through online interactions like surveys. Digital marketers can also experiment with Google's privacy sandbox to find new ways to access consumer information without jeopardizing privacy. Okay? So those are things that need to be considered when we talk about cookies, not the cookies that we love to eat. The next is tokens and cryptocurrencies. Oh, this is something that raises many eyebrows. There are those who are interested in this. There are those who are, what's that? So I hope you're familiar if you've heard of cryptocurrencies and cookies. Cryptocurrencies and tokens. Is it popular in Indonesia now? Are people buying cryptocurrency? Does anyone have here any cryptocurrency? Anyone here investing in cryptocurrency? Okay. There's a difference, you know. Tokens, they can be used for investment purposes because it has value. You can store it or make purchases. Cryptocurrencies are digital currencies used to facilitate transactions along the blockchain. Okay. And then the last one, may I request Rachel to read the last bullet. Rachel? Rachel Novia?
I think she has an
Okay.
internet problem connection.
Okay, maybe then Jennifer can read. Jennifer?
Okay. A blockchain, a system of recording information in a way that makes it difficult or impossible to change, hack, or cheat the system.
This is the promise of blockchain. Okay? But of course, we know that it is not always foolproof. Any technology will have weak points and weaknesses. But a blockchain is now a way, it's like a digital ledger, a system of saving information in a way that it is secure and that it cannot be easily copied or stolen by others. Of course, that is a promise. But again, the reality is that it's not always the same. So what are some of the reminders for digital marketers with respect to tokens and cryptocurrency? First is that digital marketers must keep an eye on this kind of finance. You know, some countries are already legally allowing the use of cryptocurrency like a regular currency. Of course, you have bad examples like Colombia recently. The government bought $100 million worth of cryptocurrency and then the market collapsed. So they lost a lot of money. But in countries like Singapore, they're able to use cryptocurrency for a lot of trading. In some countries in the Middle East and also in Europe, they're also starting to use cryptocurrency. In the Philippines, it's now being regulated by our government. So the government is trying to also ensure that the consumers, the ones buying these cryptocurrencies and tokens, are protected. Next is that accepting cryptocurrency could help brands attract new customers, but only if the demographic is right. No? Cryptocurrency is not yet for everyone. It's something that many people are still trying to understand. There are those who are trying to take advantage of being an early adopter of this one, but there are those who are very also wait and see attitude. So I, for one, am a conservative. I'm not yet purchasing any of these cryptocurrencies. I'm putting my money in other investments. The next one is inventory safeguards. You know, many companies, products and brands, they produce a lot of their products, but sometimes they also run out of it and it becomes a problem. So it is important for a brand, for their supply chain, they must address bottlenecks. It must be avoided to prevent negative customer experience. No? Have you been to a restaurant and wanting to order your favorite meal only to be told by the waiter, "I'm sorry, sir, we don't have rice." What? No rice? Or sorry, sir, we don't have chicken. What? No chicken? Sorry, we don't have fries. What? No fries. Or you go to your favorite clothing line and you're looking for a particular size. Do you have triple XL? Because that's my size. Or 2XL. And say, no, 2XL, out of stock. You lose your customers by not having enough supply of the goods and services that you have. Even the service, you know, I bring my car to a car wash and then I want it to be waxed. And then they'll tell me, sorry, no more wax, sir. Only car wash. So that becomes, we cannot do the waxing service anymore, sir, because we don't have wax. It becomes a problem. The marketing goal must be aligned with the capacity of the company or brand to produce and supply their stores and their different distribution channels with the right quantity of stocks. That is why digital marketers and marketers in general must make sure that you're not over promoting something and yet it's not available or you don't have enough supply. Do not try to get customers because if you are try to get customers that you cannot provide your products and services. There was an experience here in the Philippines of one company. They were celebrating their anniversary. So they were selling their hamburgers. It used to be that one hamburger was $3. They were selling it for 30 cents. So imagine the number of people wanting to get their hands on this hamburger, which used to cost $3 and now it's 30 cents. So the lines were very long. But what I didn't tell is that they can only supply the first 100 customer per branch. So there was a lot of chaos. There were so many people who were mad because they couldn't buy their 30 cents burger in the store. Because they did not properly communicate that stocks are limited or each store can only sell a certain number of burgers at that price. So it became a big issue to them. It became the result of bad publicity. If you remember, this is something that happened in Indonesia. Did you buy the BTS fries? No? Did you buy that? Was it popular there in Indonesia? The BTS French, the BTS meal. Sorry, the BTS meal. You know, the chicken with the special sauce. Many McDonald's ran out of the BTS meal. And many Indonesians were very angry because they couldn't buy the BTS meal. I know that because it became news in the Philippines. Because they were telling us, this should not happen in the Philippines. What happened in Indonesia? Otherwise, it's going to be a big problem also. Because the BTS army will get mad if you don't have enough of your chicken nuggets. So some examples here. The recent issue now of shortage. In the United States, it's infant milk. It started off because Abbott, a very big milk company in the United States, they recalled many of their milk products because of a bacteria that was found on some of their milk products. It had a domino effect. People panicked. People bought and were not able to buy a lot of the milk, so there was a shortage. Another industry affected by the lack of certain supplies would be the car company. The pandemic has resulted to a shortage in chips, electronic chips, not the crispy chips that you're eating, you know. I have this Korean brand, no chip, not this one. But the chips that you put in the car, you know. So there's a shortage. There are many car companies that are not able to produce enough cars because of the global shortage in chips. In the Philippines, the most popular fast food company is not an American company. It's a Filipino company. It's Jollibee. There was a time they were running short of chicken. So they said, dear customers, we're sorry that there will be a time we will not be able to sell enough chicken. So their competitor, you know their competitor here, KFC, ran an advertisement. Don't be sad. Don't be chicken sad because we have chicken in our branch. So imagine many people looking for chicken. It's not available in their favorite brand. They transferred to the competitor. Another example of KFC is the one in Australia right now. There's a lettuce shortage. So what KFC in Australia did is they replaced lettuce with cabbage so that they can continue to produce their coleslaw and the other salad and side dishes that uses their lettuce. It was a big issue. Others, it wasn't an issue, but you know, it generated publicity. We're winding up. Next is the non-fungible tokens or NFTs. I tell you, this is the next evolution and revolution. So what is an NFT? No? You have here on screen. I'd like to ask Shella. Shella, can you read the first 3 bullets on what is an NFT? Shella?
Yes. What is an NFT? NFT is everything Bitcoin is identical, not fungible. Tokens are unique.
Okay. Continue to the next.
And then are like plane tickets. They all look the same, but each have a different set and destination.
Okay, thank you. So I hope you can imagine what an NFT is. Okay. The next 2, can I ask Citra to read the next 2 items? Citra? Citra Siami, can you read the next 2 bullets?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The third is non-fungible tokens are ideal for creating digital version of collectibles like art and trading cards. And next, other use cases include digitizing our identities and providing ownership of things like real estate.
Imagine what are the possibilities of using NFTs. The last two, I'd like to request Nicholas. Nicholas, can you read the last two items? Nicholas Lazuardi. Oh, he disappeared. How about Anak Agong? Anak Agong? Hello, Anak Agong, are you there? Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Yes, maybe she has a problem with the connections.
Okay.
Prof.
Okay, let me just go over that. NFTs are often based on the Ethereum blockchain, or that's one of the early kinds of cryptocurrencies. Okay, these tokens can be bought and sold on second-hand marketplace. Imagine there's a marketplace online for second-hand items also, even for digital assets like NFTs. So what are examples of NFTs? Okay, it could be crypto kitties. It could be an album of the Kings of Leon. It could be trading cards for football or basketball or baseball. Or it can be an artwork by popular graffiti artist Banksy. So those are some examples of NFTs, NFT tokens. Why is it important for brands to understand NFTs? Because first, NFTs are the digital versions of non-fungibles, are uniquely created digital assets. This can include an animation, a graphic design, a GIF, a meme that exists on the blockchain. Next, digital marketers must help brands tap into these digital assets because there's an opportunity here. That is why I expect more partnerships. More brands will get into NFTs. They will start to sell or give away their own NFTs to build their own community among their customers. Imagine somebody answered Nike here, right? A pair of Air Jordans, especially the 1985 or 84 Jordans, cost hundreds of thousands of dollars right now. Imagine if there will be a digital NFT of that Air Jordan. Only one available or one ever made. People will now bid for it for the highest bidder. So there are several features of these NFTs, including rarity, including authenticity, including the quality, and several other factors that drive the cost of these digital assets. The last one, this is the last one, then we go to the open forum, is gender neutrality. Gender neutrality equals inclusivity. So what do we mean by gender neutrality or the term gender neutral? It means that something is not associated with either man or woman. It may refer to various aspects such as concepts or style of language. In the Philippines, I don't know if you use it there in Indonesia, the other term we use for gender neutrality is unisex. Meaning what I'm wearing now, I'm wearing a polo. Some people will say, oh, men, they wear pink. Of course. Color, the color of my clothes doesn't tell me whether I'm a male or female or whatever. This is a unisex pair of clothing. But because in marketing, if you studied marketing, one of the traditional marketing strategies was called gender marketing. You develop products and services to cater to a particular gender. So if it's for boys, these are the kinds of toys or this kind of the stuff you develop for them. It's for girls, it's like that. That's no longer the case now all the time. It's no longer working because of the gender diversity that's happening around us. So when we talk about gender neutrality, it's also called gender neutralism. It is the idea that policies, language, and other social institutions should avoid distinguishing roles according to people's sex or gender. An example is language. Bahasa, correct me if I'm wrong, is a gender-neutral language. Because there are languages that are masculine and feminine. But in Bahasa, it's a very gender-neutral language. Inclusivity is the direction as more brands shy away from gender roles, as I mentioned. And then customers are drawn to brands who make them feel that they are represented, that they are respected. Here are some examples. You have makeup that caters to male or female. You have toys that can be played by a boy or a girl. And even for children, you have gender-neutral clothing. Companies that develop this will get more market share, will appeal to more customers and clients. So in summary, these are the 10 digital marketing trends that I shared with you this afternoon. First, digital is yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Second, the metaverse marketing mix. Third, accessibility for all. Fourth, the rise of social commerce. Fifth, knowledge management is key. Sixth, the end of third-party cookies. Seventh, tokens and cryptocurrencies will grow. Eighth, inventory safeguards. Ninth, NFTs or non-fungibles are the next evolution. And finally, gender neutrality, which will result to inclusivity. So there you have it, my dear LSPR students, dear Londoners, the marketing trends that I present to you for 2022. I'd like to end my presentation with a short quotation. Trends and forecasts are not always right. I may be wrong in some of this, but what is important is that we make the most of the opportunities and possibilities that come our way. Terima kasih. Thank you very much for this opportunity to share this presentation with all of you.
Well,
I'm now ready for the open forum if you have any questions.
yes, thank you so much, Prof. Marco Polo. Guys, can you give the reactions for the Mr. Marco Polo? Maybe the claps, maybe or the heart for the Mr. Marco Polo for that informative and interesting presentations. We learned many things, you guys, and up to the date, the up-to-date issue like NFT, rise social commerce, cryptocurrencies, metaverse, gender neutrality, and etc. And you can remember easily with the D marketing.
I like acronyms. You know, I like to use acronyms, so it's easy to remember.
Yes, the acronym too easy.
So if ever professors will give a quiz, what is the D marketing? You have a guide already.
Yes, of course. So guys, we will now proceed to the Q&A sessions, and we have several questions in the chat box. Guys, please, if you have a question, please chat in the comment box now. Okay. And it's still 4:12 p.m. If you have a questions, guys, please chat in the column comment. Anything about the material for this session.
You can also give a comment. It doesn't have to be a question.
Yes, of course.
They can speak in Bahasa. I can understand somehow. You just have to translate a little bit.
Maybe I want to ask you something, Prof. Marco Polo.
Okay,
That's
go ahead.
kind of interesting for me. Like the previous week or maybe the previous month, the Philippines got the elections, the president elections. So when we talk about the president elections, we know that the American people in American, when the president elections, the digital marketing, it's part of the one of the tools for the president elections. Can you share for us how the digital marketing for the elections, Philippine president elections?
Okay. Well, if you talk about whether the campaigns of the different candidates use digital marketing, I would say yes. They use a lot of traditional, but also digital marketing. They did a lot of advertising in social media. They also did a lot of promotional activities. They had virtual concerts, virtual meetups, virtual activities that are meant to promote the various candidates. The use of digital technology and digital marketing as a strategy was part of the overall approach of many candidates to try to win voters so that the voters will choose them over other candidates. However, I'd like to emphasize that a major issue in the last election was the rise of disinformation. You know, a lot of disinformation, a lot of fake news or hoax news were also circulated. And it became a big problem because many people believe in this misinformation or disinformation. Again, some of the people behind this are also digital marketers. Some of them are in advertising and also in PR. So that is why we are telling our students, I myself, I teach marketing and public relations. I have been telling them, please be part of the solution. Do not create problems for our country. Do your best to serve the interests of the people, not to serve the interests of a few. Because we only have one Philippines. If we love our Philippines, we must do our best to make sure that our country does not disintegrate or does not really lose its independence and democracy. I hope I
Okay.
answered your question.
Yes, Prof. Marco. Yes, because in Indonesia, that the campaign from the Vice President Leni,
Uh, uh-huh.
it's really common in Indonesia. So when the result, the winner of the president elections is not a Leni. So one of my students like, wow, it's quite interesting when the campaign from the Leni it's quite bigger or quite big in Indonesia, but the result is not like the
Well,
result.
I share, I'm wearing pink, no? So it probably tells you who I voted for president. But
Yes, the
uh,
color of Lenny.
but I did not say that. But I'm just wearing pink. But I was saying that it was really a shock for many on the result of the elections, and we're still trying to understand what happened and why it happened. There are many issues surrounding the results, but again, we have to respect that that is the outcome. If there is proof that there is cheating or widespread fraud, then there must be accountability. But otherwise, as a people, we have to move forward. We have to support our people, our elected officials, but it doesn't mean we will follow them without correcting them. If they make mistakes, we will be there to tell them that they're wrong, that they're not doing their job.
Wow, that's really quite interesting. Thank you, Prof. Marco Polo. Guys,
Oh, there's a question here.
yes, okay. The questions from Samelia Luigi
uh,
Santosa. So I will read for you, Prof. Marco. Yeah, hello, good afternoon, Mr. Marco. My name is Samelia from Marketing Communications 24-1 TP class. My question is, should brand care about the metaverse in this day? Why?
yes,
Thank you and have a nice day.
that's a very nice question. The fact that I emphasize the metaverse, what I'm saying is that that is one of the major directions for marketing. You know why? Because number one, the demographic is changing. More young people like you are using the internet more often. And at the same time, you're spending more time online. As you know, the Philippines and Indonesia, we are heavy social media and internet users. And that being said, we use most of our time accessing social media, the internet, and other platforms. How many of you still watch television? How many of you still read newspapers? How many of you listen to the radio? Very little, I'm sure. Most of you, you listen to radio as Spotify. You read your newspapers, you read your Jakarta Straits Times and all those newspapers on your device. You don't watch television, you watch Netflix, right? So our attention, our media consumption, our media habits are changing. We have shifted, I'm saying we because I'm including myself there. We have shifted our use of media from the traditional to the digital media. And the digital media is the space where the metaverse exists. It is a space where the brands can continue to interact with us. So it's no longer a possible direction. That is already the direction. I'm very sure of it. The revenue stream, the direction of many brands is to invest in more digital assets to make sure that they are present in the metaverse. So thank you, Samelia, for your question.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Marco Polo. So we hope it answer it, Samelia. Okay, the other students, can you ask something maybe, or maybe you quiet?
Okay, there's another
Okay,
one.
Meviola Graciela. Good evening, Prof. Marco. I want to ask about tokens and cryptocurrencies grow. Oh, as the cryptocurrency was very viral, especially because of Elon Musk was tweeting on one of the social media Twitter. But the next moment, when mentioned that he will buy one of the currency, it drops to the bottom. What do you think happened? And can I ask about your opinion? Thank you and have a nice day.
Okay, that's a very interesting question, you know. Well, because Elon Musk is uh, is a tech billionaire. You know, um, he has a lot of money, he has a lot of influence, and it started off as a simple issue, between Musk and Twitter, but it has escalated. My understanding is that Twitter has lost probably 20 to 30% of its value because of the statements of Musk. And it's something that has caused a chilling effect to other companies. Um, I think the issue is with the confidence in which Musk is trying to enter as an investor. Because if he's going to really enter as a major stakeholder of Twitter, what is he going to do with it? Is it going to help develop the platform, or he's just going to buy it and just let it, go downward spiral? So it's not very clear on his intentions, on why he wants to buy into it. So there's a lot of speculation, and when there's speculation, people become nervous. When transparency is not there, when they don't know the real reason or the cause, many people start losing trust and confidence in the stock market. So I, for one, of course, that's his money. If he wants to buy Twitter, by all means. But my fear then is that Twitter might lose its character. Of course, it might change the way the platform operates. I, for one, am a Twitter user. You can find me on Twitter. I put there my answers on Wordle every day. So I try to answer Wordle, if you know Wordle. So that's where I put my Wordle answers. But I use it really as a micro-blogging platform to try to get news and information. So again, speculation, trust, and the future direction of the platform is in question. That's why the value of Twitter stocks went down when Elon Musk said he wants to buy it. Okay, I hope I answered that question of yours, Meviola.
Thank you, Prof. Marco, for answering the questions from Meviola Graciela. So maybe the other students, do you have questions, or maybe you quite interesting for something, or maybe you want to ask directly, lively?
They can ask on camera if they want, or
Yes. Not that.
Among the different trends that I shared here, whether Melvin or anyone can answer, which one do you think is already happening extensively in Indonesia?
Okay, in Indonesia, maybe the token and cryptocurrency, NFT, it's like a metaverse. It's three things that it's really common in Indonesia nowadays, Prof. Marco Polo.
Is the government regulating NFTs in Indonesia?
Sorry,
cryptocurrency. Is it they're regulating cryptocurrency?
Maybe on progress now. They really take it serious for the NFT and the token cryptocurrency. They really take it serious for to make it the rules and regulations for all the members or the people who wants to buying or to selling to make or maybe to have the cryptocurrencies and the NFT. Okay, guys. Okay, from Siti Fatia. Okay. Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Marco. My name is Siti Fatia from Marketing Communications 24/1 TP class. My question is how to build awareness and trust for people to crypto and metaverse so the strategic digital marketing that we use will be reach them. Thank you and have a nice day, sir.
Thank you, Siti Fatia, for your question. Well, first you have to educate yourself. You have to be well informed about what the metaverse and cryptocurrency is. You have to be able to understand the workings of this two phenomena, I would say. And if you have a better understanding of this, then you now have to begin also devising strategies on how you're going to communicate this to others. Now, I would say that cryptocurrency and the metaverse may not be understood and appreciated by many yet. But by giving examples, that's one way in which you can simplify the complex concept. You know, by sharing to them examples that they can understand in their own terms. So, for example, when you talk about the metaverse, okay, one of the features of this is, of course, a lot of this has something to do with the gaming industry. So it is easy to convince those who are into gaming to understand what the metaverse is. But for to a person who's not into gaming, who's not into social networking and into social media, who doesn't use the internet, there's a greater challenge there. But you have to make them also understand and realize that the metaverse is already here and present. It's already influencing our lives in so many ways, from our lifestyle, our purchase decisions, the kinds of things that we use, that we go to, is already affected by this metaverse. So for example, we are using social media applications before just to connect to friends and people. But now the social media platforms are being used in in a variety of ways. In elections, for example, if I may say, it's been used to promote candidates. They have developed more features so that we can belong to more communities. There's pages, there's communities, there's the marketplace. So they have developed this ecosystem in which there's something for everyone. There is a particular feature that will appeal to the different users of the platform. And that is what the metaverse tries to do, to try to attract us to be part of that ecosystem. Because there is the promise of the metaverse is that there's something for you there. That you can also have a pleasurable, a memorable, and interesting experience in the virtual space. But of course, we also have to be very careful and cautious about abusing the use of the platform. For the gaming industry, the classic argument there is that there is already gaming addiction. So that has become an issue. The World Health Organization has already acknowledged that gaming addiction is a problem and that something must be done about it. People who spend so many hours or days playing video games, who become unproductive, who have health issues, who have mental stresses and other things. So that is something that we need to balance, the promise, but also the risks involved in utilizing the metaverse and also the NFTs and cryptocurrencies. So educate yourself first before you can help educate others.
Okay. Wow. Thank you, Prof. Marco, for sharing the it's like a value for us, not just only for the this subject for our life, educate first and the knowledge for us firstly, and after that we can take care of the others. Okay, guys, maybe now we can be the last questions, yeah, from Siti Fatia. Thank you for asking, Siti Fatia. And now we would like to thank you so much from Siti to you, Prof.
Welcome.
Okay, maybe I will summarize a little bit for these sessions, yeah. You know, guys, that we have the marketing trends 2022, yeah. Digital is yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So we cannot close our eyes to the digitals and the metaverse marketing mix. Yes, now we really close to the metaverse, to NFT, and to the cryptocurrency. And there's accessibility for all. Okay, rise of social commerce, knowledge management is key. End of the cookies, token cryptocurrencies grow, inventory safeguards, and the last one, a gender neutrality or inclusivity. The material, you can get the materials from the IRPO teams, guys. And for before we end the sessions, we would like to say thank you for Mr. Prof. Marco Polo for answering all the questions from our participants. Before ending our sessions, may I kindly encourage everyone to open your camera. We would like to take a pictures. Yes, can you turn on your camera, all of the students? Thank you to Samelia, Jennifer, Diandra, Vanessa. Please turn on your camera, maybe around 1 minute, and after that, you can turn off again. Okay, I will screenshot the screen. We have three. Okay, we have three screens. So I will count for the first screen. 3, 2, 1. Give a smile. Okay. The second screen. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And the last screen. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Prof. Marco Polo, for sharing these sessions. Now there you have it. That's the end of our first LSPR Omni sessions for these semesters. I would like to give our biggest thanks to our honorable guest speaker, Prof. Marco Polo. Can you give reactions, guys? The clap one or maybe the heart one for the Prof. Marco Polo. And
Terima
also,
kasih. I hope I
terima
can visit
kasih.
LSPR in the future.
Yes, yes, of course. And to our beloved Londoners for attending today's LSPR Omni sessions. Of course, we would like to say thank you to our lecturers, Miss Nofrita, Miss Marcella, and Ma'am Elke, to join this LSPR Omni sessions. We all look forward to see you again in our next LSPR Omni sessions, which will be the next Friday. For more information about the schedule and the topics of LSPR Omni, please visit our Instagram account at lspr.international, or register online at tinyurl.com/lspromni 2022. Okay, you can register online at tinyurl.com/lspromni 2022. I'm Melvin. Thank you so much for today. Stay healthy, stay safe, and have a nice day, everyone.
Thank you so much, Prof. Marco and Mr. Malcolm. Thank you so much, ma'am, and everyone.